Welcome back, everybody. This is Jiles, and it's Christmas time. And the strangest thing, we had a guest, and then he just disappeared as soon as I went live on the stream. What? Oh! I'm sure we'll get him back. Oh, there you go. He's back. He's back. There he is. He's with us again. All right, everybody. So tonight is one of the last streams of the year, and it's always a special holiday season stream. And I like to bring some happiness and joy to everyone's lives on this day. And to help accomplish that goal, I have two awesome people with me. So as everyone has become accustomed to, we've got Don with us, my illustrious co-host. So Don, welcome. How are you today, sir?
Thank you very much.
Right on.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Hanukkah. The whole deal, man.
But the big one tonight is direct from somewhere on the East Coast.
Massachusetts.
Straight from Massachusetts in the house. We've got Rob from Next Level Acoustics. And I'm so happy that you're here, Rob. How are you doing, sir? How are things?
I'm so good, and I'm so happy that you invited me onto the podcast.
Oh man, I don't even need to invite you. All you have to do is show up and just be like, "Let me on," and you're in.
That's awesome.
So folks are starting to join in. So we got Kenneth's Art and Tech. From RBH now. This is Kenny. Kenny, welcome, sir. Good to have you here with us. I was all like, Kenneth's Art and Tech, and it took my slow brain a second to put everything together. C Big is with us. What's up, C Big? Wayne is here. Wayne Hatfield, Brother Ridge. Now, people don't know he's a Hatfield, and I'm a McCoy. Just saying. Mad Piranha is in the house with us. Van Gool is in the house with us. And there are a lot of other. I can see the number. I know there are more of you out there that aren't saying hello. Don't be shy. You can join us.
Don't be shy.
Yeah, that's right. Just join in the season. We're a big old family of people who love all of this most awesome stuff. And so today, I think we're going to cut to the chase. And Rob, I want to bring you out front and center. Kind of let me say, we can do this too. We can make you solo layout. I won't do that to you. I won't do that to you. But I want to talk about your brand and kind of what's going on, and bring everybody up to speed. Because if you roll the clock back 3 years, 4 years. When did you guys first get started?
2016, actually.
Oh,
is when we
16?
first formed. 2016.
Right on. So if you roll back the clock 8 years. 8 years. God, I get math. Math is hard. There was no Next Level Acoustics, and then you move from there to today, and here you are doing stuff that, frankly, nobody else is really doing in the way that you're doing it, which I think is really cool. And you guys are embracing technology that I think is extremely material to the industry, to home theater, whereas other folks aren't really embracing it. And we'll talk about all that stuff, but maybe a little bit of history for everybody out there and who you are and what you do.
Sure. Okay. So we're Next Level Acoustics. We're 100% manufactured in the U.S. We have our main offices are in Massachusetts, and our factory is in Connecticut. And we're really a bespoke, custom speaker manufacturer for the CI community, focus on the merging of design and audio performance. Very cool.
And who are your customers?
Yeah, so we sell.
Don's like right here.
Obviously, right? I mean, we sell through the CI channel, so we sell through dealers. We don't sell directly to end users.
Right on.
So our customer are the.
And there's several reasons for that, like the bespoke nature of installing it correctly may be easy for some people. I mean, some people are very handy, but to have knowledgeable people that have done it before, they know how to get the best sound out of it, but still preserve the aesthetics. That's why they go through a dealer network, not because they're trying to have middlemen. I mean, there's a lot that goes into that.
That's exactly right. A lot of our stuff, we like to have dealers that are involved to not only understand what the client's requirements are, but also has a general understanding in terms of the products that we offer. We make sure that all of our dealers are trained on all of our products in terms of which solutions marry up best for what the client's trying to do. And we're a very hands-on company. So that's why the dealer network was our first choice in terms of how we came to market.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I think to be kind of frank about things too is your product is definitely for the enthusiast, right? So
Yes.
I can't imagine, some, not that it would be bad, but this really isn't going to pair up with like your
No,
$265 on TV from Walmart. That's
no,
not
Giles, I wouldn't say the enthusiasts. I would say, I mean, hardworking, somewhat successful people who are building custom homes, or
Mhm.
buying nice spec homes that are, $1 million is not what it used to be in a lot of different places, where you live, and especially where I live. So, but that client is not necessarily an enthusiast, but they do
Okay.
like better things. So,
Right on.
that kind of product can elevate, that's how I present it to them. This is what's out there. This is what most everybody owns, and they're happy. So it kind of crosses over a little bit on that.
I think one thing you said there resonates with me, and that's people who like better things, because
Correct.
this is a better thing.
It's totally a better thing. I mean,
and
and if you have a showroom, which a lot of people don't see the value in anymore, but I see tremendous value in it, to be able to put people down with a TV on a wall with a really well done sound bar or whatever configuration, in a completely discreet installation in a room, but it still kicks them in the teeth and sounds kick ass. That's what people want, dude. You don't have to be enthusiast to be wowed. And people go to the movies, they're not movie enthusiasts. They just like to go see a movie and have the experience. I think that's a group, the gray group,
nice.
the lost group.
Yeah. So let's talk about the products a little bit, because we kind of mentioned that these things exist, but let's make it concrete for folks. And for everybody that's just joining, I can see another influx of people. The 5 Minute After crew has joined in with us. We've got Rob from Next Level Acoustics with us, and we're talking about all the cool things that they're doing. The connoisseur. And right now, let's talk through the product lines. And so is the screen that I'm on showing things correctly? There are 4 different lines right now.
That's exactly right. So we have the Fusion series. Yep. So the Fusion series, think of that as our soundbar solutions. Everything from the frame TV all the way through the cinema soundbar for large format displays. We then have the CI channel. So think of that as your architectural theater offerings, as well as our custom subwoofers. And then you have the Elite series, which are really design forward solutions such as Audio Art, our enclosures for the ARC and ARC Ultra from Sonos, as well as our Color of Sound option, which is a custom Samsung frame bezel painting service, which is very designer oriented.
That's cool.
And then lastly, the Cinema series, which is our 4x4 compression horn theater offering, both in wall, on wall, partial in wall, as well as in a soundbar format.
Yeah, and I've spent time with the Cinema series, and it's good. It's nice. But there's one thing that I want to talk about now, because when you showed me this product, I was super wowed, and that's in the Elite series, the Audio Art. And I'm going to go ahead and navigate over here, because this is really cool. So this is would you call it modular? Is that the right term? So
absolutely. So this is a modular system that flanks all 4 sides of the TV, and you can pick your surround field configuration. You can pick a stereo configuration. You can pick an LCR configuration with a dual center channel, top and bottom, and you can also pick an LCR with the top bar as height channels. And what the premise is that all 4 modules will wrap around the display, and then we give you the option of over 16 designer grill fabrics to wrap the grills in, and those are all cut at 45-degree angles. And what they do is they create the illusion of a picture mat being around your TV. And then we also provide a custom frame kit that you can pick in any bedroom or paint color, and then those magnetically adhere. So when you're so when everything is fully installed, it looks like a frame picture, except it's a full surround sound system embedded around your entire display.
Right. That's awesome. So this is the dual center with the left and right. And tell me if I'm wrong on any of these. And this would be heights with a LCR, kind of a traditional
That's correct.
LCR.
And just to point out on that, Giles, if you can just go back. So because we believe in engineering, if you notice the left and right channels are now pushed down.
Oh, yeah, I see that. I see that.
This way we're giving them the most amount of separation between the LCR channels and the height channel.
That's pretty nifty. Your bouncy house speaker sound bars aren't gonna be doing that.
Hey Robert, how efficient are these speakers? What's the efficiency?
Probably 90 dB efficient, somewhere in that range. So again, most people are driving these with just general ADRs, Marantz, Onkyo, Denon, Anthem.
What I was thinking, the one you had where it has dual center channels at top and the bottom, the new Sony ES receivers actually have a pretty cool like dual center, and I think they'll even power two dual centers. So
absolutely.
And they actually sound really good. Like Sony's really hit it out of the park with these. So,
yeah, Sony's got a really nice receiver pair.
It's a good pairing with that.
Yeah.
Now, to go off the beat a little bit with that comment, do we know if Storm or Trinov, kind of on the higher end of things, if they have started, or does anybody know if they've started to bake in like dual top bottom center channels as an automatic configuration? I don't know if it's in there yet or not.
They probably have. I'm sure they have the capability, especially with like a direct view LED, large scale.
Yeah.
As they get more and more popular, you're going to see more of that, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because I want to play with that in the not too far, like 2025 time frame myself. So, but I look at this and this is, to me, when you take this and extrapolate it out to like a 100-inch, 115-inch, and the new stuff that you'll see in 2025, this becomes, I think very, very, very relevant to a huge segment of customers, right? So, and that's inclusive, Don, of all those people that you were talking about, the spec home and all that kind of stuff, and the CI market. It's a huge dual center speakers equals
Giles,
speakers
can
now.
I address something?
Absolutely.
My friend, the Mad Piranha, said that dual center speakers equal 2 lead singers. Well, conventional wisdom would say that, but have you ever heard a phantom center channel between a left and right stereo pair of speakers? Absolutely. So using that kind of premise, you can combine, and I have heard combine either by crossover and mechanical positioning, or usually DSP, that actually sound really good. You almost can't distinguish that as not just one big center channel, and it really sounds like it's coming from the whole screen, like it's behind it. So
that's exactly right.
Until you get experience with it, don't judge it. And I'm not jumping on you or attacking you. Just think about it. You know what I mean? We know what we're doing.
And in that vein, also, 2 years ago at CEDIA, Barco Residential was kind of up front and center, and they had a demo with an LED wall, right? So DV LED, and they were doing 3 pair of top bottoms for left, top bottom pair center, top bottom pair and right, top bottom pair, and they were using DSP from TPI or somebody out of the European area. It sounds something like TPI. I might be getting that wrong, and it was amazing. I mean, the image of the sound was centered right across the screen, just like you said, using the stereo concept, but vertically as opposed to horizontally.
Hey, Giles, have you ever heard DSP steering through a multitude of speakers in a room?
Well, I've used 3D, whatever it's called in Trinov world, 3D remapping to move speakers around. Yeah.
Right. So, I've heard demos and guys actually steer sound through like a Meridian system, like a full tilt, full system. It's pretty cool, man. Through DSP, all things are possible. Robert knows what I'm talking about.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's especially with the virtual center that a lot of companies are coming out with. We actually have an LRCC, which is a soundbar module that has a split center left and right. So it's a mechanical split center, but it also, it ends up, forcing sound towards the middle. So again, another solution, but we understand, the power of DSP, and that's why for this audio art, we do offer a dual center channel.
Yeah, what I would like to see is something similar to this, and I think you probably would just use any of your normal kind of soundbar products to do this, but I fully expect in 25 that we're going to see a lot more of the 21:9 or 24:9 aspect ratio LED walls up in the 160-inch, 130-inch kind of widths, right? And that gives you a little bit of room to play with on top and bottom, because it's a skinnier or shorter kind of aspect ratio and wide, and then you could have just 2 large bars across the top and bottom and do your LCR inside of that, and not put anything on the sides, right? Because people are going to want to pull that out. That's my dream system, and that in my head, I've wanted that system for 5 or 6 years now. About 130 inches diagonal on a 24:9 screen with 2 large bars, top and bottom, hiding 3 pairs LCR DSP for that, what I call VAT technology, VAT, virtually acoustical treatment.
So it's interesting that you mentioned that. We just spec'd out a job for one of our dealers for a 160-inch video wall with 142-inch cinema sound bars,
Nice.
Top, bottom, left, and right, because they want to go around all 4 sides. So think of the audio art on steroids without the framing. So we're talking about 4x4 compression horns, 6 quads, 6.5-inch performance drivers going all the way around. But yes, you can also do large LCRs top and bottom if you didn't want to do the sides as well. So that was a pretty interesting job that we just spec'd out. But yes, we're getting a lot more requests for large video walls, and because of our expansion into our new facility, we're now able to make these ultra large sound bars to fit these ultra large displays.
Yeah. So how many do you have to produce it in, like 2 or 3 different chunks, and then you fit them together on site? Or
so there's a couple different ways. The first way is we can make it all as one unit. The second way, obviously to save on shipping, is we can chop it up, into 2 units where it's center right and then left, but the grill has to be one length, and that's the real challenge. But we've been able to master that process, and then what happens is that we crate it, and then that has to go LTL.
Right on. So yeah. No, I've received a few items in the past that were long like that, and they've all arrived fine. So like some of those super long, like 120, 150-inch mechanized electrical arising screens. So they come at the width of a 150-inch screen, which is like 130 inches or something, like 12 feet or whatever. And those, I can see it. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm very excited for this product. And like I said, I think it's very applicable. And in my view, the marketplace is continuing to shift more and more toward that as people really rethink the way they want to redesign rooms where they consume media, right? You'll always have the hardcore projection folks, right? And they want a dark room, et cetera, et cetera. But I think there's a really big market for rooms where you can keep the lights on and still want to have the
Robert, can I ask you a question, please?
Sure.
Have you guys done any R&D or looked into the reflective speakers for direct view LED screens? Like several companies. I know Harman's done a lot of research into it. Didn't know if you guys had even, it was on your radar, or it was something you considered.
On our radar, but we haven't broached it yet because we've got a couple other projects in the hopper right now.
Understand.
Nice.
No, we'll never tell.
Yeah, we would never tell, especially on a live show on the internet.
What is it?
Nobody will ever hear it. So for the folks that are just joining, first off, happy holidays. Tomorrow's Christmas. Yay. And we have joining us Rob from Next Level Acoustics. And we have been talking all about, for the most part, the audio art product. And now I want to flip over to the business side a little bit. So outside of product, you guys have kind of grown your presence or footprint across the United States with Phoenix Marketing, right?
That's right.
So how does that work? I mean, what are they going to be doing for you guys, and what does it mean?
Yeah, so we just named Phoenix Marketing as our national rep. They're covering basically 49 out of the 50 states for us. And we're one of 12 brands, I believe, that ended up going national with Phoenix. And they have an amazing staff, amazing reps.
Yeah, they're good people to deal with.
Inside sales team.
They're great.
Their customer service is second to none. And they were just an easy choice to move across the country. They've been doing a killer job in so many areas. And when Chris Gilleray approached us to go national, it was a no-brainer. So what's nice is that Chris's model is really built on not just collecting lines, but understanding what the needs are in the market and how he can service them across the entire country. So it's not loading up on 15 speaker brands and 15 screen brands and so on and so forth.
Robert, that
different niches in the market.
The integrator's the surgeon, and the surgeon needs special tools to make magic happen, right? And that's the way I look at brands that coexist in this ecosystem. They might overlap some. Everybody's got their different flavor and different strength. So, I don't disagree with having more tools in the toolbox.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So it's what Chris has really done is he's created, all encompassing solutions to service the dealer base across the entire country, especially with brands that can also complement each other. And that to us was very appealing. And we 100% bought in. So Phoenix is our national rep.
Cool, right on. Well, that's awesome. Now, if people want to learn more about Next Level Acoustics, and if they want to touch and kind of see the products and that kind of thing, are you at different dealers in the USA right now on demo yet, or what does that look like? How's that? Yeah,
so dealers. So we have dealer demo programs. We have dealers that have our products in different capacities. Some have theater systems, some have sound bars. It just depends on the particular dealer. I think the easiest way is to either reach out to us, and we can let you know which dealers have certain products, or you can always come to Massachusetts or to Connecticut, and you can also demo a product there. So we have two theater showrooms in Massachusetts, and we're actually building a full interactive display at our new factory location in Connecticut.
Outstanding.
All right, Robert, you ready for you good to keep going? You ready for round two?
I'm ready for round two.
Fun, man. Everybody wants to absorb. Subwoofers, what you got?
So, all right, so we've got traditional all the way through completely unique. So let's start with traditional. We've got front firing. Unique, we have high velocity subs, which is a dual tuned ported bandpass design that John Solicito has developed over many years. The overall performance with the high velocity sub is exactly what it means. As fast as that bass hits is as fast as it goes away. You're getting zero linger whatsoever.
You got all the ports.
Proprietary to us.
All the ports.
So we have in high velocity space, we have 10s, 12s, 15s, 18s, and not on the website. We have special order 21-inch models.
Ooh, talking my language.
These can come active or passive. So if you want, we can load these up with a high-end 700 watt per channel amplifiers that are made in the US.
Are they speaker power?
Hmm?
Are they look kind of like, well, I guess all plain amps look the same. Never mind. Continue on.
Okay, no worries.
They're ICE modules, it looks like.
They
right?
are ICE modules, and they're made by Speaker Power.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I thought it looked like a Speaker Power. Yeah.
Rigo at Speaker Power. His amplifiers are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We use them in all of our subwoofers.
Pretty reliable too.
Very, very reliable. And what's nice about these is that we only have to go up about halfway, and we're hitting THX, levels with the subwoofers. So again, you can do these as active or passive. If you go passive, then you can just throw any rack amplifier right into the rack and just wire it up, or we've got a fully powered solution for you.
That's awesome.
Some of the other unique subs we have are the in-cabinet subs that port out through a toe kick. So we have our stock sizes, and then we also have our custom sizes. So if you give us the dimensions and you tell us the height of where the toe kick is, we can move the slotted port and change the airload configurations to fit that space. Again, these can come active or passive. Another unique option is the under the floor sub, which is the UTF sub. These are great. They can go, under the floorboards and port out through an AC vent, or you can throw them in the ceiling and have them port down. So you can do, if your contractor is making, wood matching, AC vent grills or heating vent grills, it'll just blend away. Or you can use standard ones, or you can throw them in the ceiling and do the exact same thing. You can also have these modified, and we've had dealers actually install these in stairwells and porting out between the risers and the steps. So these are very universal. And then the one that we're most proud of is the in-wall subs for 2x4 construction, especially, Giles, the one that you reviewed,
which was amazing. It was so good. Oh my, and oh look, there's a link for me. Yeah, I mean this thing it's crazy good. I was shocked.
It was crazy. I honestly didn't believe you when you said what the performance was, because we didn't think that it could actually get that low clean.
I didn't either.
I honestly didn't either. It was so amazing that we actually brought one to the CEDIA Tech Summit in New York, and everyone was blown away by the fact of the base that we were able to get from just one sub for a 2x4 construction.
Yeah.
So what's really unique about this, and Giles, and you'll know about this, is that this is something that we've spoken to John Herron about speccing in for waveform.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you throw 8, 10 of these going all the way around the room. This is definitely something that could be used for a waveform.
Right on. Yeah. One of these days, I'm going to call you up and be like, I need to order 6 of these and to put in my front wall, right? Because that would be ridiculous. I've only got 16 channels of amplification to play with, or of not amplification, but of processing to play with my Trinoff. I don't have a 32, so I'm limited.
Quick question for you, Robert, if you don't mind.
Yes. Sure.
What's the mounting? Is there pre-construction brackets? Is it dog legs? Is it
yeah. So okay. So this is how, especially the Pro model, which is a dual tens. So there's no pre-con bracket because it literally just fits between the studs. So we give you a Duron template. This is direct to stud mounting. So we've got 45-degree pass-through holes going through the baffle. Okay, that are completely segregated. You're going right to wood because this thing's moving a ton of air. We want this thing anchored directly into some type of wood structure. You don't want this just going in the drywall. So this is going direct to a stud.
So I'm just trying to think of retrofit application where drywall, everything's upright. So you would just find your studs, cut out your drywall, throw this thing in, maybe put in a support on the bottom, set it in there, zip them in.
That's it. So envision you cut the hole, right? If the stud's a little bit farther away, just throw another 2x4 up there, right? Just to bring it closer to the hole, and then just go side. You probably don't even have to do the top and bottom, honestly, because we give you 4 going down each side and 2 on the top. A couple going on each side with the long hardware that we give you, anchors that right into the wood, and it's completely inert at that point.
That's really cool. I kind of wish that. So I kind of want to do my room again one day because, I'm a little retrofit room, right? And it's, I've just been kind of bolting stuff on, but man, I would really love to have a space where I could just buy 6 of your in ceiling subs and put them up in the floor joists up high, and some of them down below. I mean, that's just, it really speaks to me, getting all that stuff out of the way, out of the room where you don't see it, but you have the performance.
Out of sight, out of mind, without loss of performance. That's exactly right.
That's cool. All right. So before we continue on, a couple of more folks out in the comments. So M has joined us. Welcome, M. Merry Christmas to you as well. Typhoon Tai is with us. He is straight from, I think he's in China, and he works with XIV. I guess that's how they say it, right? Or I don't know if they say 14. But this is a LED wall company that's I think it's, if you're out there, Typhoon, just remind me or correct me, but I think it's a joint venture between Japan, a national company, and a Chinese company, and they create all kinds of cool LED wall technology. So I've been talking with him quite a bit. So always happy to see lots of cool people representing different markets in the audience with us. So you could if those guys need a sound solution for their product for the U.S. market, particularly since they're here already, you guys could totally hook them up. I mean, I think that would be a match made in heaven.
Offer a audio and video solution in a package, custom bespoke for each room.
I'm just saying. Okay, here we go. He works in a Sino-Japanese led display company. Indeed, very, very, very easy way to say it. Cool. Well, again, always happy to see you guys in the audience. And then for folks that are just joining in at our halfway point, I've got Rob from Next Level Acoustics with us, and Dawn and Jiles are here hosting Theater Trends, the weekly podcast live stream where we talk about all the stuff that you love, and that has to do with AV. Now, I do want to change gears a little bit, and don't want to talk all about product, but I have this thing that Don told me to do that I did, and I have to come back and report on it. And he said that I had to watch The 13th Warrior, right? And this is a action adventure movie from the 90s.
Classic, man, from the 90s, dude. Don't be hating.
Classic from the 90s.
Banderas, man.
Featuring the lead actor Antonio Banderas.
Banderas, watch me walk away. I listened. Like that. Sounds just like him. I did you in my language. I listened.
And okay.
Bad job.
So, to be brutally honest, when the movie first started, right, I was like, oh, this is super dated, right? Because it looks like a movie made in the 90s, right? There is a ton of grain in the film, and it had a boat, the long boat from the Norsemen out in the open water, and the CGI was like very 90s. And I'm like, I don't know. But you know what? When I got into it, there was a lot to the movie that I took away that really wasn't just the action of the movie, right? And for me, what I really liked, I liked the writing. The plot wasn't anything crazy, it wasn't like, oh my God, you blew my mind. But there was some subtext there that I don't know if everybody would pick up on. And Rob, I don't know if you've seen this movie or not, so sorry if you haven't seen it before. You'd have to go watch The 13th Warrior now, right? Antonio Banderas at his height.
I'm gonna have to cue that up.
Cue it up.
Good.
This is the thing that resonated the most with me, and the thing that I took away from it that I think maybe the light watcher wouldn't pick up on, or maybe I'm just crazy and I'm just making stuff up. But this movie talked about the intersection of different cultures, right? And particularly cultures in which there is a language barrier. So in one part of the movie, you have one guy who speaks what I would assume would be Arabic, right? And he's got a guy with him that speaks Greek, right? And they meet this other group of people that speak Norwegian or something. I don't know what language that they spoke. Some Scandinavian island Viking language. But one of the guys there spoke Greek, so they would translate with Greek as kind of the interim, right? And and Antonio, he couldn't understand anything that people were saying, and you could see the movie was from his perspective, right? And when he first met these people, they were talking, and he didn't understand what was going on, and his outlook on this, and I think it's the way they showed it in the movie, is that these Norsemen were just savages, right? They were brutal and they were doing all this stuff, and he was kind of horrified, right? But through the movie, he learns the language, and then he really starts to understand what's going on and the whys about it. So for me, it was kind of a commentary on acceptance of different cultures, and maybe not jumping to conclusions about things when you don't really understand, right? And how that understanding can, so Matt Prawn is all in here. Lo, there do I see my father. Lo, there do I see my mother.
People right there.
Yeah. So anyway, it was a good watch. To sum it all up, it was good. Thanks for
I mean, I saw it at the theaters, when it first came out, and it's like, dude, it's a badass movie. At the time it was really cool. And how some movies just kind of give you that feeling, like a little bit of emotion on it, beyond just like the silly fighting and special effects and all that. It's just one of those kind of endearing movies that you can't expect everybody to dig like you do, especially when you're 82, when you finally get to see it and you call yourself an 80s kid.
Hey, I finally saw it. I grew up in Alabama.
Thank you.
I was in Alabama in the 90s. I don't even know if they showed the movie over there.
Appreciate that. You're like never seeing Goonies,
Oh my God. Don't say that. That would be if you haven't seen the Goonies.
Oh my God. That's a classic.
Dude, Chunk loves sloth. That's that.
You're coming out with Goonies too.
I saw it, yeah.
I
hope you don't check it up, man. Like,
I'm so scared.
So many sequels, man. Like Gladiator 2 sucks.
Oh, is it bad?
It's bad, dude. Like, I tried. I just watched it again just to make sure, and I'm like, no, God, it's all right.
I will. Yeah, I've got it on Kaleidoscape right now, so I'm going to check it out maybe tomorrow.
Too much fan lip service, man. I don't know. Maybe you like it. Popcorn movie.
Typhoon Ty, have a good holiday. He says he'll take a video on YouTube. So yeah, send me a video that I'll post it up on my channel of your stuff. Seriously, I'm happy to do that. I'll put it up on my main channel and see if people are interested. Maybe can drum up some business. That'd be cool. And he says 88. Maybe that means peace out. Peace out, man. Or maybe he was born in 88. Who knows? I don't know. So that was 13th Warrior. Now I need to bring people up to speed on my other media consumption, right? So I'm to the last episode, almost done with season 1 of Rings of Power. And I'm super excited because everybody says season 2 is where things kind of kick it up. And I'm really excited to get there. So that is what we have been doing as a family. And then day after tomorrow, Squid Games season 2 is back.
That's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome. And then guilty pleasure of the week for me, first 2 episodes of Beast Games. You guys know what I'm talking about? It was awesome.
Really? Mr. Beast?
Mr. Beast.
I heard he dropped like $100 million.
It's got to be more than, I think it was like $500 million on the show or something stupid.
Yeah, he's the OG, man. Yeah, he's the biggest.
He got that YouTube money.
I just read a book when they tell I just read a book that tells his story. It's about the beginnings of YouTube and blah blah blah. It was really interesting, dude. People don't really realize the power of this format.
Yeah, cool. So Robert, Don, any new content consumption over the week? Anything you want to point out? So Don, maybe start with you, since we know that you are not a fan of the Gladiator 2.
Yeah,
not feeling it.
Not really. Not as a top 5, top 10 movie ever made. Original Gladiator. You got to treat that sacred. I don't know. It was just a little bit too much fan lip service. You know what I mean?
Sure, I'm with you. Anything good last week?
No. The Dune series is really, really well done. Digging that. Okay. I think we got one more left. I think
we're 2 in right now, and when we took this detour over to Rings of Power, we'll come back to it.
So when you get to it, Shogun, because they just announced they're going to make season 2 and 3. Telling you,
it's on AMC though, right?
I think it is. I
gotta figure out how to watch it.
Hulu has like this thing with Disney, so we'd go on to Disney and just go to Hulu through there, I think.
Right. Yeah, on Disney we're watching
need maps to navigate all these apps now. It's ridiculous. Cut the cord. It's cut to a different kind of cord.
Yeah, we're watching Skeleton Crew on Disney right now, kind of in between. Everything else. That's the cute one, right? It's cute, little
Sure.
kitty show. Yeah. What about you, Rob? Anything that you've seen recently that you want to talk about?
Yeah, and it was really surprising. And so don't make fun of me, but I'm gonna throw out Smile 2.
Okay,
You
no,
guys-
Dude, the surround in that, dude. The
Yes,
Atmos.
that's what I'm pointing out. I was amazed at the audio track because I have it on Kaleidoscope.
Okay.
It almost reminded me of like the recent like Evil Dead in terms of like just the audio track. It was just amazing.
No,
they thought that was just demo like worthy.
And my boy was watching it in his theater. He's like, "Dude, you got to check this out." And I immediately went and got it.
I was shocked because Smile 1 was like, it was okay, but clearly they stepped up their budget for this.
Horror movies really know how to take advantage of Atmos if they're done well.
I was
they're
very impressed. Very impressed. With
it's on the list.
On the list, John.
Yeah, you have to. I told my partner Lee to watch it. It's the audio was just ultra impressive.
That's cool. And folks out there that are watching in the audience, we're to the content section of the show now. If you guys have seen anything, there's a bunch of you watching. Just call your stuff out, man. I want to get more interaction going. Let us know. And we're also going to be at the question section too. And there was one question before that I want to get back to. Couple of comments. So I skipped Siphonics Audio. Said happy holidays, and greetings to all of our friends up north in Canada. So good to see you here in the audience. And then was it Van Gool? Van Gool says, I want to know about room treatment. That is a very open-ended question that could have a lot of answers just depending on exactly what you're trying to get at. But I guess the first thing I would say is room treatments are good. That's one thing to know about them. Just watch Killer Game, though thought it was good. Killers. I watched Killer's Game. Is that a movie or a TV show? I'm not familiar with it. Killer's Game. I'm taking a note here. Let us see, Big. Let us know if that's a movie or a TV show, and what if that's streaming or if you bought that on disc or.
Hey, Giles, C Big lives right down the road, and I'm gonna have him over here to my casa one day here soon to do some listening.
That's awesome.
That's to hear some RVH. EP
Rafa RFA. With what kind of watch is that? Oh, we talked about your watch before. Do you guys see that one? I've got it pulled up on screen. Is that a Patek? I don't know. Dude, I think we've talked about your watch before. Tell us about it in the comments. We want to know. And Matt Prana says, Merry Christmas from Florida. So hey, Don, there's another Floridian right there. It's, I guess, Florida's thing. C Big says it is a movie on KCA. All right, I've got you on the list to check it out. I don't know how to say it. It's too cosmopolitan. Bruges. It looks good. It's particularly with our Sith Lord there. That's what sets it off for me. Okay, back to room treatments. And Don, so maybe you can give us the 5-minute condensed version. So if you remember on one of our episodes, early ones, you had 2 parts, one on mechanical room treatment and then one on DSP. Maybe you could give us the 5-minute overview of those different components. Don's like, oh my God, I don't know. but so
I'm glad you asked. No, yeah. I mean, listen, that's a greatly open-ended question. So 2 things you want to have in a room. You want to have some kind of diffusion, whether it's natural to the room, material, bookshelves, furniture, a multitude of things, and or supplement that with some focused diffusion in certain areas. But a lot more often than not, you definitely want absorption, and that really varies depending on what your desired outcome is. If you're trying to build a dedicated enclosed theater room, square, box, rectangle, even an open floor plan that follows that general area idea, having absorptive panels in key locations, especially for your front portion of your system, can be beneficial so that you have that very controlled dispersion and you're not getting a lot of early reflections and whatnot. then some good absorption in the very back. So that's going to help to mitigate some of that slap echo. And then, a little mixture of really whatever formula you come up with for the room. More often than not, every time I come up with a formula for a room, it's not how it ends up sounding its best without experimentation. But it's definitely a good idea. And each room's different. You really got to measure the room, man. You got to, you've got to have something like REW, a good microphone. You got to be able to measure certain things as you get started on it. So, but they're very important. Even little things help. So, speaker isolation.
Cool. All right. Well, if folks have more specific questions around that, feel free to kick them out there. But he says Metrich, Exponent 2024 and War the Watch. It's all coming back to me now in my old brain. Some of this, it's like a sieve sometimes. Since I hit my 50s, man, it's like water through a freaking sieve. Just I'm so old.
Robert, tell him what's up.
I'm so old. Rob's like, I'm 30. What are you talking
about? What?
I'm 50.
See? Yeah. It's the crew, right? I'm 51, so this is the crew. This is the
children.
Crew. This is the crew. This is the good stuff. All right. So shows. Coming up stuff. Rob, are you guys going to be showing anywhere? Is CD the next thing? Are you going to like across the pond to what is it, ISA or whatever it is over there? Or
no, we're not going across the pond, but I think we're gearing up for CEDIA 2025. I think that's going to be, because we've done the tech summits, and I think we're now going to do the big show. I think it's time to do it again. So we did it in 2017. We did it as part of the Hisense booth in that big theater in 2022. And then I think we're going to be doing our own thing in 2025. So be on the lookout for that.
Awesome. So a couple of questions. Van Gool says, if you use Direct Live, what is the best room treatment to start off with? That's another hard one.
It's unanswerable. I mean, it really, that's a room controlling software. I mean, measure the room, see what your, the measurements say, and get with a professional company and have them put something together and design it for you and put it up, then run your direct after you do that. When you've got those, parameters. I mean, that's the order of things, but I mean, it's very open-ended. There's no one best.
So here's what I do. And this is from a non-professional point of view. So please shoot holes in this, because I'm not an acoustician. I'm not that. But for me, one of the most important things really is to eliminate all of the slap echo that you have in a room, right? So it's super important for me I like it to deaden the room down, right? Because maybe people are in rooms that have enough diffusion already where they're not so live. But for me, I really like to kill that down. So as a layperson, I just add in enough absorption, and it's kind of on the reflection points of where the main listening position would have reflections off of my LCR. And if you can do that in the ceiling, that's good too. But if you can't, on the sidewalls is good. Complete layperson point of view. And then I use either DIRAC or the turn off stuff or whatever your processor will do. And that is pretty good. I mean, it's not what you would attain with someone who really knows what they're doing, but just from a layperson's point of view, that's what I do. So what's wrong with that? I mean, what are the big holes in that?
Well, Giles, there is a million YouTube channels, magazine articles. There's no shortage of critics of equipment, and certainly equipment is important. Some may be a little more important than others in the ecosystem of it. But to achieve, the really incredible above the rest, whatever price level, and you don't have to spend $1 gazillion to do that. Mm-hmm. It's proper design, mechanical setup, considerations for distance, ceiling height, walls, what you're working with, and then design some kind of acoustic treatment system for it. Start off as small as you can, listen, measure, then make some adjustments, maybe add another treatment, measure, listen, measure, or whatever order that you're going to do it. I like to say listen a lot. And find the right kind of balance in your room. There's so much put into equipment, and only the acoustics are just kind of acknowledged. But still, when do you see a live stream all about acoustic treatments and brands and styles? I mean, you know what I mean? It's just kind of ignored. And Robert, you know, that's so important as you as a designer trying to design speakers that work in environments that are devoid of that. I commend you on that. I know that having that focused horn really helps too, but you know, anyways,
yeah,
important. Synergy.
That's exactly what we tell our clientele, which is our dealers, is that, you know, number one, you know, the speakers, that's first and foremost, but a lot of it's going to depend upon placement, room treatment, and calibration too. I mean, that all goes hand in hand. You know, I mean, you can do something as simple as the mirror trick to like find out where the contralaterals are and your first order reflections. You know, if you need to absorb in those first order reflections, you know, coming off.
Good old THX mirror trick.
Yeah, you can do combo panels, right? If you want to get that airy wide sound stage, right? You know, behind you, you're putting 3-4 inch, you know, absorption panels, you know, directly behind the listening position. I mean, there's tons of YouTube videos out there. I mean, you can get as complex as you want, or you can get as basic as you want. It's just, you know, as you kind of go along, you kind of figure it out, and then you can always add more treatments and so on and so forth. But just understand that those are real world effects, you know, and that's going to change some of the performance and really enhance it. So
yeah, if you just go full tilt and put shit everywhere, you know what I mean? Just put it everywhere you can.
Yeah.
You're never going to know. I mean, you're going to have to backtrack. I mean, it's much easier to start off small, like he said.
Exactly. And just
do just what you think and the key points, reflection points, listen, measure, you know, listen and do it again. I mean, it's monotonous, but that's the way to really know. The combination of technology and the combination of humanity using your ears is really where you get to the best sound. The best calibrators all know that, you know, because most people want a little tweak here and a little change here, you know, and the speakers that have high dynamic range and clarity and high efficiency are the speakers of choice for most modern theaters now, specifically for those kinds of reasons, to overcome obstacles and give that measured 105 reference or whatever that is at the seating position, continuous, you know, so their importance is high on the chain, but not everything.
Yeah, cool. We're actually going through that now in our showroom. We're actually replacing one of our showrooms with the new Cinema Pros, and we're redoing all the treatments, and we're going with like combo panels and like the whole nine. So I can actually report back how that whole process goes. So
I would love to have you come on the show and show us all that stuff. And you know, maybe one day when it's all done, you could just hang out there and, you know, join with a cell phone and you walk around and talk us through it.
Show you exactly what we did, you know,
Absolutely.
Which was we just put up a bunch of absorptions, versus post, which is, you know, we're actually working with a couple individuals that do this for a living, and we're, you know, like combo panels here and 4-inch panels here and absorption and doing the mirror trick and then listening and then maybe shifting a little bit. But, you know, every room is different. You know, not every room is going to be perfectly like we've got sconces, so you can only put them in certain places, and just understand that room environment will dictate, you know, not everything is going to be a perfectly constructed, you know, rectangular box with like no drop downs or like air ducts, or, you know, so you have to work with what you got.
Hey, Robert, have you ever fell into the room calibration vortex? Or like 12 hours later, you look up, your hair, you're all disheveled, you're drinking Red Bulls.
I've been through that, and you tweak and retweak, but then eventually you got to kind of take the OCD out of it and understand that theaters are meant to enjoy. You know, a lot of times we get people that are just sometimes maybe overly critical. It's like, you know, we had one client, you know, one dealer's like, well, you know, I need the speaker to be at this exact degree, and like if it's off a degree, is it going to change anything? I'm like, at the end of the day, just listen, right? You know, it's, yes, there is a science to it, right? But at the end of the day, it's about enjoying it. So don't take the fun out of it.
Right. So here's a good question, and I would like to look at this one through the lens of Next Level Acoustics too, right? So, what gotchas are there when trying to have both a 2-channel and a home theater in the same room, asking for a friend, of course. I listen to music in my home theater more than anywhere else in my house, really. I love it. So gotchas, I don't know. There's a big reflective thing in between your left and right speaker if you have a TV. right? Or well, any kind of screen really. I guess acoustically transparent, it would just be bouncing off whatever's behind it. What do you think, Rob? Anything from a 2-channel? You know, when people say, "Hey, I'm going to listen to a lot of 2-channel music," does that bring anything up from your perspective about product that you guys sell?
Yeah, so it's very interesting. So a lot of our product kind of go both ways, and that's actually a great quick segue into the cinema series. So cinema series is really it's kind of meant to go both ways. So you've got a 4x4 compression horn, which gives you amazing cinema dynamics, right? Bone crushing, explosions and power for days, efficiency, just like, awesome dynamics. But a lot of times with horn systems, they end up getting a little fatiguing. But what our lead engineer, John Solicito, was able to do was create a custom crossover for it to eliminate 90% of the first order reflection. So in layman's terms, what does that mean? It means that we're able to take that 4x4 compression horn with all the cinematic properties in terms of, output and dynamics and so on and so forth, but give it also a signature profile of a silk dome tweeter. So you're able to get both. And this was evident when we demoed these at the Tech Summit. And perfect example was, we played James Bond and the gunshots and everyone jumped and it was amazing. We played, House of Flying Daggers with the bees that went back and forth and everyone was just floored. But the most amazing thing was when we played Shallow from A Star Is Born. And when Lady Gaga got up there with those 4x4 compression horns and just the smoothness and articulation and just, it was all, it's not even a word, like silkiness of just her vocals. This is the first time during a demo, and twice has happened, that after that clip from Kaleidoscape, the room clapped. And I've never seen that before. And everyone was floored that the same thing that just did those cinematic explosions and bombs and bullets was able to handle the subtleness and articulation of like a Lady Gaga singing. Or, even even those Norah Jones tracks. And that's where the engineering comes into play. So yes, it is possible, depending upon how these speakers are built, to be able to have these for music and for cinema. So you don't just have to pick between one or the other. These are double duty.
Cool.
Like late night with Next Level Acoustics. Silky as smooth, silky as sound, and horn tweeters coming at you live. High dB.
Trying to throw some knowledge.
Make it love tweeters right there.
All right. So we have, let's see. Well, this might be the last one for the night. So
Nikita, what's that? My boy.
Nikita says, coming from your channel, I believe. Is it normal to buy speakers just to try them? Thinking of getting a few pairs and comparing and selling them used. Speakers I want a not at dealer. Oh, speakers that he wants are not at dealers or at Best Buy, right? So something else. So would those happen to be Arundels or something like that? Help me normalize my wild idea. I have fear of missing out. Is it normal? Man, do whatever you want to do. I mean, I would just prefer to find somewhere that I can listen to, so I didn't have to go through that whole process.
He's asking the wrong mofos. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's perfectly normal, sir.
I've got more speakers than I can listen to now. But I would say, what are you trying to hear? And maybe we find people that have that stuff, and you can have like a social event and everybody brings their speakers over and you listen to them. I mean, you won't be in a tweaked room. Yeah. Nikita, what are you looking for? Tell us which speakers. I think you're totally normal. But I think maybe there's a easier way. We got a community. We can figure this stuff out. So, and I think maybe, Nikita, if you stick that as a comment, we can pick that up next week and go through all of that, because we are at the top of the hour and I don't like to hold people longer than the 1 hour, and we are there now. So we are going to turn the volume knob down and end this one tonight. So first off, Rob, always a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for coming in on Christmas Eve at 10 o'clock on the East Coast.
Thank you so much for having me. Don,
Yeah,
Giles,
happy to.
been absolutely awesome. And to everyone listening, if you guys have any questions, please, give us a call, email. And Nikita, we've actually done this before. We've sent out like little trial speakers on some kind of rental agreement to where people can actually listen to them. We obviously don't have
I vouch for that, dude.
but every once in a while, we've been known to send some stuff out for you guys to listen to them. So it's
I vouch for him, Rob. He's good. I vouch for him. If he stiffs you, I don't think that.
Okay. Right on. Don, as always, thank you for co-hosting with me tonight. Your expertise is invaluable, and I appreciate you spending time. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And then for everybody else out there, thank you for joining. Your time is precious too. So hopefully this was both entertaining and educational. I have a good time doing it. Everybody that celebrates Christmas, Merry Christmas for tomorrow, or whatever holiday you're into. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. And with that, we're done. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.